This is the Pepperwood Podcast, a production of Pepperwood, a nonprofit conservation organization based at a 3,200-acre nature reserve near Santa Rosa, California, in the heart of the traditional homeland of the Wapo people. At Pepperwood, we aim to inspire conservation through science. And on this show, we talk to scientists, stewards, and environmental educators about what they do and how they do it. We hope to give you a glimpse into the real experiences of folks who devote their lives to taking care of local ecosystems and sharing them with others. Welcome, Pepperwood Podcast community, to another episode. As always, I am your host, Pepperwood environmental educator Julianne Bradbury, and today we are going to get a little insight into one of Pepperwood's most treasured education programs, our Summer Science Institute for high school students called TeenNat. We're going to hear the voices of a few folks who have experienced this program over the past few years and can represent what the program was like for them and how it impacted their lives. First, a little context for you. What is TeenNat? TeenNat started in the summer of 2013 and has continued to welcome high school students into the Pepperwood community every year since. The details of the program, how many weeks it lasts, the specific projects that the participants engage in, have evolved over the years and changed to accommodate restrictions like periods of social distancing, but the goals and the values of the program have remained strong through it all. First, the program is completely free of cost to participants, and we are so grateful to both the donors and the grant funders who continue to make that possible. There is an application process that you go through to become a participant, but there is absolutely no cost to either join or experience TeenNat. The program is available to high school students who are entering their sophomore, junior, or senior years of high school following the program. In other words, if you are currently a freshman, sophomore, or junior in high school, you're eligible to apply for the upcoming summer of TeenNat. Once they have applied and been accepted into the program, TeenNat participants gather at our 3,200-acre nature reserve for full days of hiking and learning over a period of several weeks during summertime. They typically come from many different local high schools to spend time in and learn about Pepperwood's diverse habitats. They engage in real field research and stewardship projects, as well as nature-related artistic and mindfulness practices with guidance from Pepperwood's educators, stewardship professionals, and scientists. They meet a diverse group of regional conservation professionals and learn about the wide range of careers related to the natural world while building their resume and career skills. I joined the TeenNat staff team in 2024. It was really exciting for me to become part of a program with such a rich history, including the TeenNat alumni community, which is more than a decade in the making. Once someone has participated in the summer program, they become a lifelong member of the TeenNat alumni community and are therefore invited to annual alumni events, given special access to all Pepperwood events, and provided with ongoing career support, including updates on local conservation internship and job opportunities, and references and letters of recommendation from Pepperwood staff. So those are some of my thoughts and a little background about TeenNat as a program and as a legacy of the Pepperwood educators who've come before me. But I want you to hear about the program from the ones whose opinions matter most, the folks who have experienced the program for themselves as participants. At our most recent alumni event in January of 2025, 3 of our alumni agreed to chat with me about their experiences in TeenNat, and I'm going to let them introduce themselves.
Hey, my name is Glenn. I'm a senior in high school at Orchard View School, and I did TeenNat in 2022, and I've since then attended Winter TeenNat in 2023, 2024.
My name is Teagan. Currently, I'm a senior in high school. I did TeenNat in 2024, and I have come back for 2025 Winter TeenNat, and I plan to come back again.
I'm Beatrix. I did TeenNat in 2024. I came back for Winter TeenNat in 2025, and you can't stop me from coming back again. I'm gonna be back. Right now, I'm still in high school. I'm a sophomore now. The only STEM thing I'm doing at the moment is engineering programs, which isn't too TeenNat related, but I would credit TeenNat to giving me confidence in those.
I loved that final insight from Beatrix, something that came up often from these 3 TeenNat alumni, all of whom clearly loved the program and are motivated to keep experiencing TeenNat through our alumni events, was that TeenNat did not turn them into laser-focused ecology machines. Indeed, our goal with TeenNat is not just to serve folks who are committed to becoming the next generation of professional scientists, nor is it our goal to brainwash folks into pursuing careers as ecologists or stewardship professionals. If those careers are your goal or become your goal, we can certainly support you, but that's not what we're really aiming for. I was really pleased to hear from Beatrix, Teagan, and Glenn that they didn't feel pressured to shift all of their life goals during TeenNat. Rather, they all described how TeenNat opened their eyes to how an increasing love and value for the natural world can be paired with other passions and connect them with other people.
I, in fact, wouldn't say that TeenNat gave me much of a jumping off point to be like, now that I've done TeenNat, I know how I can be a science educator or a botanist or anything. It just gave me more interest in those fields and gave me a lot of resources to continue pursuing that.
I plan on going to our local junior college and pursuing a career in photography. I think that TeenNat definitely helped me realize that I can have other interests than just photography, because I know that I didn't have much of a plan outside of I'm gonna go to college and I'm gonna do photography and then I don't know what I'm gonna do from there. But now I know that while I do that, I can also have kind of a subset of interest. It was kind of hard having only one thing to enjoy, but then you kind of realize that there's this whole STEM culture, and doing iNat definitely helped me realize that there's a huge community online. TeenNat helped me realize that I not only had one hobby and that I needed to follow in that hobby, that I can combine my hobbies, and that not only can I be a STEM person, but there's also an artistic side to STEM, especially with the online photography system iNat, and seeing kind of a artistic and humane kind of resource in that kind of data.
One of the great things about TeenNat is that there's such a diverse group of students that attend. They're not all students that are interested in biology or environmental science. I myself, for example, would like to study mechanical engineering, which is a bit different from maybe straight biology or chemistry, but I'm still able to love the outdoors and being out there. And some of the friends that I made and some of the classmates from my year were people that were interested not just in environmental science, but different tech, in English, in writing, etc. And we were able to connect over this common love for the nature and for the outdoors.
Speaking of becoming connected with others, I asked about who our participants interacted with during TeenNat. Who were the human and non-human friends that they met and spent time with?
I met a lot of people that I'm still catching up with online. I met a lot of people of different types that I would have just met in my normal school, which isn't a big one, doesn't have too many people who would want to be outside all summer. So it's very cool to know people who want to be outside all summer, and I'm glad that I've been able to keep up with some of them. And as for non-human friends, I haven't been able to catch up with any of them, but maybe I'll meet them again someday.
What are some examples of those?
I'm not sure that snake I saw would consider me a friend, but I would consider it a friend.
Fair. Did you determine what kind of snake it was?
Friend-shaped.
Friend-shaped snake, my favorite kind.
The first, I don't think it was the first hike, but maybe it was the second. For one of the things we have to do for TeenNat is the project that we present at the end. And first, second, maybe third hike that we went on third day, I managed to pick up the third most painful stinging animal, insect that there is out there, the velvet ant. Didn't know what it was. Then was told that it is that and decided not to pick it up after having dropped it multiple times. I didn't mean to. I swear I didn't mean to.
Of course not.
She did sting me though, which is nice, and we know it's a she because they are a wingless type of. The females don't have any wings, but they're a wasp. So I found an ant that looks like a wasp that might have stung me.
But she chose not to.
But she chose not to. So I think we're friends on that level.
Okay, great. So that was one of your first friends.
Yeah.
Your first
and it was also
friends.
what I chose to do for my project because we had to. also we had to have proof of our animals, and we had to have photos of them.
Cool. So yeah, you made that friend, and she lasted you the whole TeenNat experience.
She was kind of the one that like started it. She got the ball rolling.
That's great.
I didn't have anything. I had no clue what I was going to do, and then I was like, you know what? Why not?
That's right. That's right. As you were inspired by that moment. Cool. Any human friends come out of this for you?
I did. I am currently, after this, I'm going to go to the mall with some people that I know. But
Great.
I think besides TeenNat is not like, I met these people at TeenNat, and not only do we meet outside of TeenNat, but we keep on coming back to TeenNat. I think that's something that is really important, is that TeenNat is a place where we can meet and we can have these like fun experiences together. Not only because we met that one time, but because we are going to create lasting memories.
Yeah. Sometimes we need excuses to hang out with people that we love.
Yeah.
And like, that's something that we hopefully provide for you. So that's so good.
The alumni community is wonderful. For Winter TeenNat, every year I meet great new students who are doing completely different things in life, but are able to come back to this love for Pepperwood and for the outdoors.
Next, I asked Glenn, Teagan, and Beatrix to reflect on how their experiences in TeenNat impacted their lives overall.
TeenNat actually really gave me the confidence to be more myself in school the next semester.
Oh, that's incredible.
And it also obviously helped me know a lot more when I'm outside, and it got me wanting to be outside more again. I kind of forgot how fun some of this was.
So that's something that like you had used to enjoy, but you had maybe lost it a little bit?
Yeah, maybe lost it, maybe just wasn't hiking as much, and then TeenNat reminded me, I need to try harder to get outside. Adding on to what Glenn was saying about the TeenNat alumni community, it's hard to understate how resourceful and how great it is to have connections at Pepperwood, because if you ever need any of Pepperwood's resources, then you have someone to talk to. And every newsletter we get seems like it has a whole list of opportunities for TeenNat alumni, and they're all right here, and it feels much easier to look there or to look to a Pepperwood staff to look for an opportunity that can be of use to you than to just look on the internet and look for lists of the top 5 whatever across the world. All the resources you get are right here, and that is one of the most valuable parts of TeenNat.
One of the great things about TeenNat is that we also learned that everything, like all of the plants that we learn, all of the facts that we learn, all of the plants that we get to work with, all the animals that we get to see are all native, and they are all in our area. I live 25 minutes from Pepperwood, which means that all of the things that I have found here or that I see here, I can also see in my backyard or around my neighborhood, and I think that's really fun.
TeenNat opens doors, and TeenNat gives people like me the opportunity to discover and learn more of what's possible out there. Want to maybe pursue something in research or in preserves or nature wildlife or ecology, when normally I might not have considered that as a career path. And I'm sure that there are many of my classmates from my year of TeenNat who did not consider having a career in environmental science or something else, and TeenNat opened the doors for them. It's a small class sizes, so the environmental educators are really able to connect and work one-on-one with each student. At the end of the TeenNat section, we do a final project, which is where the students create a work that shows all of their learning throughout the 3-4 weeks at TeenNat. And we see these students and people like me that are able to use our other skills, like for example me, that was some video editing and computer science, to apply them towards Pepperwood in ways that we wouldn't have expected. So for example, I created a small documentary video that was on some of the indigenous people that are with Pepperwood and climate change and how that's affected. This is something that I would never have thought of was an issue until I came to TeenNat and learned from some speakers in the indigenous community in Sonoma County.
Finally, I asked our alumni why someone should apply for TeenNat. And I should have expected our smart, savvy alumni to see where I was going with this.
You should apply if that sounds like something you want to do. I think that's the point of this podcast, to get you to apply. But anyway, I'll say it again.
Totally. Uh-oh, they're on to me. Beatrix could not be more right. We want high school students to apply for and experience TeenNat. We love it. But even with that bias in play, I think these 3 did each share some practical advice on why applying for TeenNat might be a good idea for you.
My mom told me that over the summer, I needed to find something to do. And I actually found TeenNat through their SEA program, where after you go to TeenNat, you can work at the work with other TeenNatters in the future. You just have to be a previous TeenNat attendant and also over 18. And I found that, and I was like, well, if I do this, I now have like a long-lasting plan. I went to TeenNat because I was like, it's something that can help me move forward in my life, not only career-wise, but also like, experience-wise. And I think TeenNat is great for experiences because it not only, the only thing you really need is a way to get here, but once you are here, there's so many other opportunities. Our environmental educators kind of help you reel in all of these like crazy ideas, like, oh, I want to see this, and I want to see this, and I want to see this, and I want to do this, and they go, well, here are the tools to do it. So go do it. They kind of inspire you to get out there and do the things that you kind of wrap your head around and do.
Do you want something to do over the summer? I did, and I had a good time.
If you like hiking, if you like being in the outdoors, if you want to spend some time just running around hills, then TeenNat is perfect for you.
We do have hills. Yes.
A lot of them.
I want to say a big thank you to Beatrix, Glenn, and Teagan for their enthusiastic participation in TeenNat, their willingness to share their thoughts and experiences with you all, and for being great people to spend a summer and our subsequent events with. It sounds like the feeling's pretty mutual, as Teagan says.
This place is cool. I like it.
I love it. I don't know when this episode is reaching you, dear listener. At the time we're releasing the episode, there are still a few precious weeks left for high school students to submit applications for the summer 2025 cohort of TeenNat, but you could be listening to this years from now, so this year's application period details probably aren't very relevant to you. So, what I will tell you is this. TeenNat isn't going anywhere as far as Pepperwood is concerned. It's going to keep happening year after year. So go to our website at pepperwoodpreserve.org, follow the links to the TeenNat page, or email us at teennat@pepperwoodpreserve.org. That's TENNAT at pepperwoodpreserve.org for up-to-date information about the program. The application period tends to take place between January and April each year, so that's a great time to check in on the program for the following summer. Perhaps you are not a high school student and aren't immediately connected with one, but you really liked what you heard about our TeenNat program and how it impacts the lives of young people, and you want to help support it. Something that I really treasure about TeenNat is that it is absolutely no ifs, and, or buts, free of cost to participants. They don't have to fill out any financial aid applications or even think about paying to participate. I find that really important in terms of keeping the program as accessible as possible to all high school students in our community. If you feel the same way, please consider contributing financially to Pepperwood as a sort of informal sponsorship for future TeenNat participants. You can always feel free to mention the TeenNat program as part of your donation, but just know that all of our departments, all of Pepperwood staff members contribute directly to TeenNat, so any financial support for Pepperwood supports the TeenNat program. If you have any questions for the podcast, always feel free to email us at podcast@pepperwoodpreserve.org. And as always, I'd like to offer a big thank you to Stephanie Antonoro, our communication coordinator, and Holly Giselli, our education program manager, and the whole Pepperwood team for supporting the production of this podcast. But don't switch to your next podcast episode just yet, because now it's time to play the Nature Sound Guess Who game. To refresh your memory, we play a nature sound at the end of each episode, and you have the time in between episodes to guess or apply your knowledge or to do some research into which animal, vegetable, or mineral made that sound. You can email your guesses to podcast@pepperwoodpreserve.org or comment on the corresponding posts on our Facebook, Instagram, or Blue Sky accounts. Now, first, let's listen back to the sound from last episode. That sound was made by the spotted owl, or Strix occidentalis. What? The same species that Michael Gologui told a charming story about back in episode 5? Absolutely. That spotted owl call was recorded by Thomas G. Sander and shared courtesy of the Cornell Lab of Ornithology, Macaulay Library. The featured noisemaker and its brethren that inhabit Pepperwood are part of the northern spotted owl subspecies, Strix occidentalis corina. Spotted owl populations in the western portion of Northern California, including where Pepperwood is located, are all part of the northern subspecies. If you want to find the California spotted owl, subspecies Strix occidentalis occidentalis, you have to look further east into the Sierra Nevada mountain range. We'll include a link to the Cornell Lab's range map in the show notes. I also ran across an article about the spotted owl from the Markkula Center for Applied Ethics at the Santa Clara University that I found very insightful, and we'll share a link to that in the show notes as well. The article is called The Spotted Owl Controversy, written by Claire Andre and Manuel Velasquez. And it presents a multifaceted history of how spotted owl conservation efforts have impacted the timber industry and some of the resulting responses in public opinion. Anyone involved in forestry can tell you that the spotted owl, its status as a listed species, and the implications of discovering that it inhabits a forest is a very sensitive topic for folks planning to harvest timber and for folks working to conserve our dwindling old-growth forests. Listed species often serve as an umbrella protector for an entire ecosystem, and as a result, they can become lightning rods for conflicts between development and conservation. Spotted owls are a pretty good example of this phenomenon. The article is a quick and interesting read. Check it out. Thank you for playing the Nature Sound Guess Who game. And now here comes a new sound for you to guess between now and next episode. Here it comes in 3, 2, 1. And here's your second chance to listen in 3, 2, 1. Who could that be? You'll have to wait till next episode. Thanks again for listening, and don't forget to keep your ears tuned in to nature.